Hello everybody and warm welcome to my channel Tarot by Izabela. I hope you're all doing great and I'm very happy to see you here today. Today's video will be about dreams and dream interpretations. And I will be talking a little bit about dreams, some scientific facts, a little about dream interpretations, and about a dream I had a couple of weeks ago that I would like to share with you, since I think it could be important. If it is important, it's up to you to say. But before we begin this video about dreams, I want to thank you all wonderful viewers for all of your support to this channel, for your sharing, for your caring, for your comments, coffees. Everything you do is highly appreciated. I am sorry if I cannot respond to all of your mails and your comments, but I try to read them all and I try to respond to as many as I possibly can. And thank you again. Without you, there would not be any channel. And it gives a lot of strength to continue doing more videos. But I also want to give some warnings since this channel unfortunately is attacked by scammers or scam attempts. And I just want to remind you all, I do not have any Facebook page. I don't do personal readings. I never contact you first or ask you for anything, personal information or money or whatever. And those scammers are using my profile photo many times, so please be attentive. Don't fall for it. My correct email address and Telegram group and Rumble channel, you will find it down in the description. And also look for the YouTube ID number. You will find it under my profile photo on the main YouTube page. So please be aware and don't fall for any scam attempts. And if there is any communication between us, is when you have contacted me first and I respond, and some kind of communication. But still I will not ask you for anything. So that is important, because I would not like any of you get hurt from fraudulent people and scammers out there. So please be aware. Well, what about dreams then? We all have had dreams, strong dreams, sometimes prophetic dreams, and dreams that want to warn us for something, or maybe dreams of a loved one that have passed away, some kind of communication. That person wants to say something to us in the dream. And dreams have always been very important for humans through all ages and all cultures. It's lately in this modern era and Western cultures, they try to program us that dreams, it's just a dream, it's nothing special, don't pay attention to this or don't pay attention to that. And that has not always been the case, and still in many indigenous cultures, dreams are very, very important. They are a way to communicate with ancestors, with spirits, to get access to higher knowledge, important information, personal information, or the information for the community. And also in different kind of rites de passage, when you go from one stage in your life to another, could be from child to grown up. If you are getting married, the dreams you have during that period of time could tell you if there would be the new life will be of success or not. So indigenous people have always cherished the dream and encourage people to talk about the dreams, since they put great importance to them. And we people in the West, we are a little bit programmed not to take notice of our dreams. Well, I have some facts, some scientific facts. I just want to read them shortly. And after that, we go a little bit deeper into dream interpretation and the dream I would like to share with you. So, what kind of facts? And yes, what is important, below in the description you have a couple of links that could be of interest about dreams and dream interpretations. So if you like to look them up, you will find them down in the description. So, some facts about dreams. They say that dreaming may represent important cognitive functions. Brain activity that occurs when we are dreaming is similar to the memory processing brain activity we experience when we are awake. So the brain really don't make any difference in its activity from being awake and dreaming. So almost the same centers in the brain are activated when we are dreaming and when we are awake. And that is difficult to explain. How is it possible? So it seems like we are experiencing something for real when we are dreaming. It's thought that we dream about 3 to 6 times per night. And dreaming can help you learn and develop long-term memories. Blind people dream also, but with other sensory components that people that can see. They also say that dreams are a universal human experience that can be described as a state of consciousness characterized by sensory, cognitive, and emotional occurrence during sleep. What do they also say? They also say that dreams work as a form of psychotherapy. Dreams are representing unconscious desires and wishes. And there are 5 stages of sleep. And in the 5th stage, called REM, R-E-M, Rapid Eye Movement Stage, is when we are having those dreams. And in this stage, breathing becomes more rapid, irregular and shallow. Eyes move rapidly in different directions, and our muscles and limbs become like paralyzed. Heart rate increase, and if people are waken up during this 5th stage, REM stage, they can get quite disorientated and they don't really know where they are. And they can take some time before they wake up. Let's see. And there are different kinds of dreams. We have this normal dreaming, then we have lucid dreaming. And lucid dreaming is when the dreamer is aware that they are dreaming. They may have some control over the dreams. Some people experience lucid dreaming at random, while others have reported being able to increase the capacity to control the dreams. And we also have famous nightmares, and they describe nightmares as distressing dreams that cause the dreamer to feel a number of disturbing emotions. Common reactions to a nightmare include fear and anxiety, and that can occur both in adults, children, people that have experienced big traumas in their life. It's like they are reliving or they're living that trauma again through dreams. And it could be very, very frustrating, especially for those with PTSD syndrome and one of those horrible things that happens with that syndrome is that you have repeatedly very strong nightmares. Yeah. Well, that was just some short facts about dreams. Well, there are many famous dreamers out there. And I have a link down in the description of some famous people, what they discovered through their dreams. They have taken notice of that dream and tried to act according to the dream, or try to make some research around what that dream wanted to tell them. So you can find those people down in the description, and also have a link about normal people that have experienced dreams that have came true in the awake life. And I'm sure many of you have experienced dreams that have been very strong, and you will remember those dreams as long as you live, because they have been so strong. Could be in a positive way, could be in a negative way. And that is a sign that dreams really talk to us. Personally, I have noticed the last months that the so-called symbolical veil between dimensions, between worlds, have become thinner and more transparent. So I have noticed people around me talk more about very strong dreams, very powerful dreams that really shake them up, dreams that are beginning to come true, dreams that want to tell them important things. So it seems like something is happening in the energy fields between different dimensions, different worlds, that we are getting more access to different dimensions as a species, as a human species. And information from different dimensions are sipping through more rapidly and more intense lately than it has for a long time. And I think that is quite important, especially for the times that we are living in, that we should take notice to our dreams. Those who have loved ones that have passed away, many of you have dreamt of communicating, some kind of communications, that your loved ones wanted to say something to you through their dream, in your dream. And I think that is also important to take notice, because when we are asleep, we are not really in our body. Our consciousness is out of this prison. We can call that our body is physical body, and we are more free to go in special frequencies, in special dimensions, to explore worlds that we normally cannot explore when we are awake, since our eyes, our ears, our sensory perceptions in our body take away a lot of focus in our brain to that those things that happens around us. When those things are cut off, our consciousness, our perception is more open in this world of dreams. And our loved ones that have passed away are not bound to the physical body as we are, and they many times want to communicate to us, and they will try to do it through dreams. And it's if you really want to have contact with someone that have passed away, it's good to, before going to sleep, maybe lit a candle in front of that person's photo, or ask the person to talk to you, or give any information while you are sleeping. And then many times this person will, if it's of importance, this person will try to communicate with you. And for those who are interested in dreams, I always recommend to sleep when you go to bed, and that you have a piece of paper and a pen beside you. So if you wake up and that dream still is fresh of some reason, you can quickly write down the dream, because if you fall to sleep again, it's a big possibility that you will forget that dream. So sleep with pen and paper so you can get important information of a dream. So you can get important information of that dream if you have one during night. Well, dreams can also be a way to warn us for some kind of tragedy or some kind of how do you call it? Not tragedy, a warning. Warn us for something that may occur, so you can avoid a danger. And many people have listened to this kind of dreams and been able to avoid train accidents, flight accidents, or other things. Maybe being more cautious during that day, more alert, especially when you're driving, and been able to avoid a lot of suffering. So I think that we should take notice of our dreams. They won't talk to us. Our subconscious or our higher self is more aware what is going on around us when we are dreaming. Of course, dreams can also mean absolutely nothing, and that we also have to investigate when we are dreaming. For example, if you have a very stressful day and you have not been able to stress down before you go to bed, you may dream about that stressful situation, about this person and that, and the whole day is repeating itself in the dream. And then, or if you have seen a horror movie, maybe you dream about the same episode, but you are some way in that movie, in that dream. So it's important to look what have happened during that way, during the day, or during a certain period in your life that could cause that dream. More to separate it from a prophetic dream, or just a dream where it's a way for the brain to process things that had happened during the day. And those who have dreams that are strange, or they think they really want to say them something, I recommend to those people to break down the dream to main components. What does the dream consist of? What kind of things are happening in the dream? For example, are you dreaming of teeth that is falling out? Are you dreaming of that you get hurt? Or are you dreaming of you get very happy if you're seeing a big spider, or if you see an elephant, whatever. The main component, break it down. You see a big elephant, for example. Then use that elephant as the main component. And you can Google, you can look in dream books, or the symbolic meaning. What is an elephant? And then you have to look, is the elephant healthy? Is the elephant sick? Is the elephant aggressive? Everything is important in that dream. And when you find a significance, for example, for that elephant, oh, it means this and that, but the elephant is in a negative position in the dream. Then it could be that the dream wants to tell you that you have to take care of a special area in your life, or a friend could be treasonous, so you have to be more careful, and things like that. So it's important to break down the dream into components. But it's also important to take notice of what kind of feeling you have when you wake up from that dream. Is it a feeling of happiness? Is it a feeling of, wow, something nice is going to happen? Or, oh, I have to be careful. Or, there's something not something is not right with that person or this situation. Remember, when we are awake, our brain take record of everything that happens around us. Maybe subtle signals from persons, or you may not even notice it yourself when you are awake. Could be the way somebody looks, or body language, or a special sound, anything. Everything is recorded by our brain, and even if we as persons maybe don't take notice of it, but when we are asleep, those little signals that we didn't think about or maybe didn't notice may become bigger in a dream, and so big that you cannot avoid to notice them. So the dreams can be beneficial for helping us, and in different directions. And as I said earlier, dreams have a big signification in many cultures and for many ages all around the world. And still today, many indigenous cultures have put a great, or have still a great importance to the dreams. They are a way for spirits, for higher source, God, or whatever you can call it, to communicate with us people. One of the Western culture, no, I cannot call it Western, even in the Bible, dreams are very important. And the Bible talks about dreams and dream interpretations. I don't know if you have heard about the story of Joseph and his brothers that sold him as a slave because they were jealous of him. After he had a dream that, what was it? Yeah, it was like he was one straw of wheat and there was 12 straw of wheat, and they were like bending to him. And well, all these kind of dreams, they make his brothers jealous also, not just because he was his father's favorite, but anyway, he was sold as a slave. And his gift was the gift of dream interpretation. And he makes some dream interpretations that help him get out from jail, and that help him to save Egypt. And he became one of Pharaoh's next in line of Pharaoh, very important person, just because he was good on interpreting dreams. And if it come from God's source or whatever it came from, really doesn't matter. But the dreams were very important even in those days. So it's not just an occult area of dream interpretation. It's stuck in us since ages, and it's a part of our culture. And every country have their customs around dreams. For example, here in Sweden, there's an old custom, Midsummer Eve. For those girls that are not married, they should pick 7 different flowers from the meadow and put those flowers under the pillow when they go to bed on the Midsummer Eve. And then they will dream about their future husband, for example. So this kind of traditions about dreaming and some rituals before going to bed, there exists everywhere. So people have had it as an important part of their lives. Since we sleep 1/3 of our life, of course, dreaming is very important. And our soul, our consciousness are more free to live and visit other dimensions, other spheres, and gather information, or maybe get access to that great library that exists with all knowledge from all times and all worlds, the universal library of knowledge. You can access that also when you sleep, when you dream. And if you have a problem in some area, could be good to write down the problem, think about the problem before you go to sleep, and ask your higher self, your source, whatever you think is higher and good, to help you to resolve this problem, to give you some guidelines while you are asleep. And remember to repeat those words loudly, that you want to remember the dream when you wake up, or remember the answer you get in that dream when you wake up. So maybe you get the answer while you're dreaming, but if you don't ask for remembering it, maybe you will not remember an important answer. Well, now I would like to share a little bit about a dream I had 2 weeks ago. And this dream felt like it was for real. I know I was dreaming, but it felt like it was for real. And I was standing at my balcony, looking down, and I saw a neighbor walking her dog. In real life, she doesn't have a dog, but in this dream, she had a dog. And suddenly, she just passes through a brick wall, like in Harry Potter, She passes through like in the brick wall. And I was looking at that and I said, oh my God, that is strange. How is it possible? How can you pass through a brick wall? Then I hear a voice, like a male voice, strong male voice, that said, why are you surprised? That is normal. All of you humans should be able to do it. Remember, everything is just energy. It's empty. It's a vibration, it's frequency. So if you have the right frequency and if you know the right vibration, this is not impossible to do. This is what you are supposed to do. And then the voice began to talk about we as human species. And the voice said that when you are meditating, you humans, when you are meditating, you do it sometimes in a wrong manner. It all depends what you meditate on. Yeah, you want to become one with the universe. You want to find the answers of this and that. You're always looking upward and out and up. But remember, the whole universe, everything that exists, all knowledge you have also inside of you. So to be able to access to everything, you have to look inside yourself. especially if you want to be able to go through walls. That is also a symbol of more extra powers, this kind of psychic powers, psychic abilities. To be able to develop them more, you have to go inwards. Inwards. And then he showed me like a big microscope. And when you adjust the microscope, you can go further down. You can see this thing getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So, for example, if you look like at a cell, then you can go inside the cell, and then you go down to the DNA, you go down to atoms and neutrons, protons, and whatever particles. And then this voice, I can say, it sounds strange that the voice showed you, but at the same time I was shown like a movie. And I saw our DNA string, DNA like goes like this. And the voice said, your DNA have been manipulated to not be able to obtain this psychic powers to the fullest. And on one of the what is it called in English? Genes. Yeah, genes. And this voice showed me a gene. On that gene, it was a lock. It looked like a microscopic super nanotechnology magnetic lock of some kind on that gene. And it showed me that this lock on this gene is put there to block you. So you will get old, you will get sick, to stop your psychic abilities and stop to make you be able to develop everything you're supposed to be from the beginning. And he said there's a possibility to open that lock, and that is through right frequency and right vibrations. So you have to meditate inwards, try to see, because what you see, what you feel, what you imagine can become a reality. Because if you have a dream, for example, or if you imagine something, the same areas in your brain are activated as if you were awake and seeing things with your proper eyes. So the voice was talking about a certain frequency that will break down that lock. And when we break down that lock, this magnetic microscopic nano lock of some kind, super advanced technology on a gene, then we become free. Then we can heal. Then we will not grow old. Then we become whole. And we'll be able to make use of all those psychic powers. We call that psychic powers, but it should be our normal abilities. Telepathy, levitation, be able to pass through walls and windows and whatever kind of ability, talking to animals, all kinds of abilities will be open up to us to be used in the best way. Now one can then I asked this voice or whoever was talking in the dream, what is the frequency to break down that lock? And it's like we have to find out that for yourself, because unfortunately I woke up. So I will be working now forward every night to try to get more answers to what kind of frequency. Or it could also be a combination of different frequency at the same time that will smash that lock into pieces. So we as a human species could be able to finally be free of this prison we live in at the moment. Well, that was a little bit about the dream, and still think it's important, since everything is frequency, everything is vibration, everything is energy in one way or another, plus, minus, neutron, protons, atoms, everything have a special energetic charge, but it's still empty space. An atom is not a solid piece of rock ball, it's empty space, and it's just electric charges that circulates and make up of that atom. So everything is energy. So if we can vibrate in a special energy and break down that lock, it could be quite wonderful. It could be something to explore for those who are maybe more capable in the area of sound and vibration. And let's see if there is a special vibration who can change the structure of magnets, because that lock was some kind of magnetic lock. Well, that was a little bit about my dream, and it could be quite fascinating if you viewers would like to share some of your dream experience, dreams that came true. And there have been people that have dreamt of lottery numbers, and they have next day put that lottery number, and they have won the big sum of monies. And since, as I said, we are not in our body really when we are dreaming, when we are asleep, we get access to different timelines, past, present, future. We travel different worlds, different dimensions, both scary and lovely dimensions. So dreams are a part of us, and I don't think we should look down at dreams like it's just a dream. We have all heard the expression, a dream came true. Oh, it's just a dream. Yeah, but the dream can come through, because many of us have experienced that. I have also experienced dreams that have been like warning dreams, and I take notice to them, very, very strong warning dreams, and sometimes they have saved me from potential very dangerous situations. So yes, one should not look down too much on dreams, but not be too obsessed and too scared either, because we cannot 100% be sure that the dream is prophetic, or is it just a dream that mix up everything we have been through during a week or a month. And that's why it's important to take the notes. For example, if you repeatedly dream about the same thing over and over again, that normally means that you have to take notice of that. That dream really wants to say something to you. And look into the symbolic of meaning of whatever you dream about. And when you dig and when you realize, oh, it's about this and that, then many times this dream disappears, because it was there to help you with something or make you aware of something. So dreams that are repeating themselves are also important to take notice of. And when you take a note, write down your dreams, and you notice the next day or the following days a certain thing happens, then that dream could be an indicator, especially for you. When I dream this, then I know I should be aware of that, or this could come to my life. So dreams can also be very personal. One signification of a dream for one person can signify totally different for another. For example, if I dream about hair on the body, long hair, or whatever, hair in general, then I know that some extra money is coming in that I didn't expect. And that almost 95% comes true. When I dream about little kids, then I know some kind of quarrel, some kind of problem is coming up the following day. That always almost comes true. Always comes true. From another person, dreaming of a child could be that they're gonna make a small trip or whatever. So dreams are also personal. What it means for one, it could mean one thing for one person, but the same dream could mean something totally different for another. So one should not put the dreams in a little box. Oh, it must mean this or that. No, you will notice yourself also when you begin with dream journals that your specific dream could be a sign for something special, but it is meant just for you. And remember also the feeling you have when you wake up. Have you a positive feeling? Have you a scared feeling or strong feeling? That is also important, because then the dream will tell you if it's what kind of dream it is and what you can expect a little bit. For example, many times if one dream of bad teeth is that you have to take care of your health, or there is some underlying health issue that you have to look into. And it doesn't mean that you have to become sick, but it can mean that you have to take care of your health so you will not become sick. And sometimes when we become sick, it's when we begin to take care of our health and can change our lives. So not always a bad thing needs to be a bad thing in the long term. A bad thing can also be a way for us to change certain areas in our life, to make our life better in the future. Well, that was a little bit about dreams and dream interpretations. And if you have liked what you have seen and heard, please don't forget to press like button, share button and subscription button. And to all of you wonderful people out there, I wish you all the best. Have wonderful, sweet dreams, prophetic dreams of beautiful future. And take care out there. Be strong and be loving and caring to each other. And hopefully we're gonna see each other soon again. Bye bye.